Hello, and welcome. My name is Jeremy Estelle and I'm taking up the hobby of sewing. What you've just seen me do here in the last little bit is marking a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm trying to create, and again this is my rough draft, a uniform costume from the original series of Star Trek. More specifically, what's known as the Big Red Monster from Star Trek 2 through 6, The Undiscovered Country. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you taking the time. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, by all means, drop me a note, and I hope you subscribe. Now that's all pinned up, I'm going to grab my sewing machine and I'm going to rip some stitches in here. Well, hopefully not rip, but you get the idea. So, for those of you who are curious, the reason why I'm doing this is basically just because I want to. I have an interest in sewing, but I'm also a veteran, and I'm trying to find something which is helping me cope with a lot of my post-traumatic stress disorder, and ultimately I'm trying to improve on something that I've never tried. So that's kind of my story. It's kind of behind it. I'm thinking that maybe one day, if I become really good at this, maybe I might even turn it into a small business. That's my idea anyway. Whether or not that's going to happen, I'm not sure, but I hope it does. I guess for if you're curious, for those people who are into sewing, I have an older machine here. It's a Kenmore, and if you're familiar with what's going on with Sears, I know, too bad for me. I'll never be able to buy another one. Oh well. What we're going to be using here today is just going to be a straight stitch foot with a 12 gauge needle, using just some navy blue fiber. Again, I'm just doing this as a raw project and starting out. I'm going to be using a straight stitch. I'm going to be going with a stitch width of a number 4 and a stitch length, pardon me, of 2. So I'll show you those fantastic stitches after I'm done. And once again, even though I do have markings here both on my throat plate, but I also took the time to definitely use my seam gauge and mark off that 1/2 inch. Yes, it is my rough draft. Yes, it is my first time doing this, but again, I also want to try to do it as best as I can. Hopefully you'll enjoy. There you have it. Jacket front, size extra large, pattern A, and jacket front overlap pattern B, done with a straight stitch with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I know, riveting, fantastic, but I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much.